What's going on, guys? TTL, going to be going over my top 6 prize picks props of today. Today's August 13th, 2024. Plenty of time to get these in. Don't start for 6-7 hours. So thank you guys for all the support in the last video. Thank you guys for supporting the new website. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. And really quick, before we do get started, I do want to mention my new website that I was just talking about, predictiveprofits.ai. The link is in the pinned comment down below. It's currently $119 a month, but there is a 7-day free trial. And if you use code TTLVIP, your first month will be less than $60. You get half off. So make sure you take advantage of this, guys. So you'll get 7 days free. Then your first month will only be 60 as well. We're currently up 50 units. It's not even been a full month. We still have 4 more days until it's been a full month. Last night, we had the White Sox at plus 250. They actually got all the way down to plus 270. The Betting Predictor also output anyone's legend minus 1.5, which is a League of Legends bet. And it was plus 100. It went down to minus 105, which is when I got it. That cashed this morning as well. That one was a 2-unit bet as well. It tells you exactly what to bet on and exactly how many units to use. So it'll tell you, like, bet 1 unit on the White Sox money line at plus 250. Like, it tells you the odds, it tells you what sport and league it's going to be in, it tells you exactly how many units to place, and it's just super, super simple, guys. Highly recommend it. It's based on an algorithm that I personally programmed myself. I programmed this entire website, the entire algorithm by myself. So this is the best way to support me. You can also support me by joining VIP if you're more into player props. So if you're more into the prize picks, underdog sort of stuff, feel free to join my VIP at patreon.com/testthelimit. That's all I'm going to say about, like, sponsors and stuff like that. It's my website. I completely made this. It helps me out. Both my Patreon and this are the 2 easiest ways to support me. Now let's get into the actual video. We're going to be using Outlier. You can use my link for a free week here. And let's get into our picks for today. So our first pick of the day is going to go straight back to the well from yesterday. So both Bregman and Alvarez cashed for us yesterday for the Astros. And I mean, I like taking Alvarez again today in this matchup versus the Rays. 8.5 hitter fantasy score. 11,000 people have already taken him today. I'm taking the over here. And let's take a look at the reason why. So let's go to Outlier and search up Alvarez. Over 8.5. So over his last 5 games, he's cashed in all 5, and he's actually had a median of 18 and an average of 20 fantasy score per game. He's cashed in 6 straight games at this point with 14.5 on average over his last 10. Median of 14. 6 straight games on the road. 20 fantasy score on average over his last 6 games on the road. So I'm loving this. He got 14 yesterday. Today's versus Baz. Great matchup here. Excuse me. I don't know if I'm getting sick or what. I apologize. But I'm absolutely loving this with the way Alvarez has performed lately. Again, in his away games this year, 53% hit rate, 30 of 57. So I'm loving this. Let's lock it in. Alvarez over 8.5 fantasy score. Let's move on to our second pick of the day. Rafael Devers under 8 hitter fantasy score. I think this was in yesterday's video as well. If it wasn't in the video, I did play it. He's versus the Rangers today. 8 fantasy score. I'm taking the under. 3,500 people have already taken this today as well. A lot of them may be taking the over as well, though. You can't really tell. But under 8 hitter fantasy score, we can see over his last 10, he's cashed this in 7 out of 10. He's cashed this in 5 in a row as well. Over his last 10 games, he has a median of 6 and an average of 8. And that's with the outlier of 23 fantasy score right here. In 2024, he's went under this in 55% of games, 57 of 104. So absolutely loving this today. Devers under 8 fantasy score. Let's go ahead and lock it in. And let's go on to our third pick of the day, which is going to be Jose Ramirez over 8 hitter fantasy score. This is versus the Cubs. And I'm loving this. The Cubs have Assad pitching today. I love this matchup for Ramirez. Almost 4,000 people have taken this already today. I think it's going to grow as the day continues and goes on. 8 hitter fantasy score, Jose Ramirez. Let's take a look. Jose Ramirez, apply. Right here. So over his last 5 games, he's only went over in 2 of 5. He actually went over in his last 2 games where he got 17 and then 19. Over his last 10, he's cashed in 7 out of 10. And in 2024, he's cashed in 60 of 116. And what we can do is we can actually do home games. And when we look at just home games, he's cashed in 5 straight games. He's cashed in 7 out of his last 10, 6 straight here. In the head-to-head matchup, he got 19 versus the Cubs yesterday at home, and he's cashed in 60% of home games this entire season. So I expect this streak to continue today. Jose Ramirez has been one that I've gone to back and forth over the past 2 weeks. So loving this matchup for him. Loving Jose Ramirez today to go over 8 fantasy score. Our 4th play of the day is going to be Brent Rooker. This is another one that I constantly go to in VIP. Brent Rooker over 6.5 hitter fantasy score. Almost 3,000 people have already taken this today. He's versus the Mets. And let's go ahead and just take a look at his stats. Over 6.5 fantasy score right here. Over his last 5, he's cashed in 3 out of 5. Last 10, 5 out of 10. In 2024, he has cashed in 55% of games this season, 57 of 104. And when we take a look on the road, he's actually cashed in 56%, 31 of 55. Last 5, he's cashed in 3 out of 5. Last 10, he's cashed in 8 out of 10. And over his last 20 games on the road, he has cashed in 16 of 20 games. Bro is an absolute monster on the road lately. I don't expect that to change today, especially versus Blackburn. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. Blackburn is not a great pitcher. I think that Brent Rooker could easily get some hits on him. So let's lock that in as well. Over 6.5 fantasy score for Brent Rooker. And let's move on to our 5th play of the day, which is Javier Assad over 1.5 walks allowed versus Cleveland. Now, again, I told you Assad's not very good. He's versus the Guardians. I don't think that he's going to go under 1.5 walks today, especially with how he's been pitching as of late. We'll go ahead and take a look. Over 1.5 walks. He's cashed this in 4 of his last 5 games, 8 of his last 10 games. He's cashed it in 14 of his last 20. And this season, he's went over in 14 of 21 games. So I definitely think Assad's going to get 2 walks today. It is the Guardians who have some great batters as well. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. He's averaging 5 innings pitched per game. And then Cleveland batting versus right-handed pitchers. 24th in walk percentage, 7.5% walk percentage, which isn't the greatest. But then Javier Assad's statistics, he's bottom 5th percentile with a 10.5% walk percentage. He walks a lot of batters, so I don't think we're going to have any issue with him going over today. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. And then our 6th and final play today, so we can hopefully hit that 25x, is going to be Gavin Stone under 4.5 pitcher strikeouts versus the Brewers. I also like his under fantasy score on both Prizepicks and UnderDog. And I like his over hits allowed, honestly. But Gavin Stone under 4.5 pitcher strikeouts. Let's take a look at it. Gavin Stone under 4.5 strikeouts. Over his last 5 games, he's went under this in 4 out of 5 games. He's averaging 3.2 and has a median of 3 strikeouts per game. In 2024, he started in 21 games. He's went under in 11 of those. And in away games, he's gone under in 4 of 10 this season. Excuse me. Last season away games, he went under in both away games. I don't think he has much of a sample size to go off based on that, though. He's averaging this season 5 innings pitched. Again, we can see he's failed to exceed this in 5 of his last 6 games with a 3.2 strikeout per game average. He's in the bottom 16th percentile with an 18.2% strikeout percentage. The Brewers do strike out quite a bit versus right-handed pitchers. They're in the they're 20th out of 30th with a 23.4% strikeout percentage. But the batters have been doing really good as of late. I really like the way this matchup looks, and I think the Brewers could score some early runs on the Dodgers. So I'm going to go ahead and take the under on Gavin Stone's fantasy. I'm taking the under on his strikeouts, and I'm taking the over on his hits allowed. So I do think that Gavin Stone just gets hit today. So let's lock it in, guys. Those are my 6 picks of the day. Let's cash the 25x today. Let's go 6 for 6, and I'll hopefully see you guys on predictiveprofits.ai, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the Discord. See you in the next video.